Hey guys, Hannibal, family lawyer, here with a family law pro tip, or I guess I should like start a section called FAQ because with the number of times I get this question, I should just make it like number one on anything I talk about. That is, do you need a lawyer to handle your divorce? And in a word, I'm gonna cut to the end. Yes, you do. Now, listen, I say that with a caveat because with all things there are exceptions. And like, look, technically, like, can you do your divorce without a lawyer? Like, have the ability? Yes, you can. But should you? Probably not. And I'm surprised because you would think this question comes from people who don't have enough money to pay for a lawyer, right? So they're like totally broke, just need to sort of decide who keeps what, and that's it. But that's really not the case. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. But a lot of times, those same people feel pretty overwhelmed with all the data and facts and assets and liabilities and kid stuff and all that. So they sort of know, like, oh, legal stuff, I need a lawyer. But I'm really talking to a lot of you and a lot of my friends on some of the social stuff who are successful professionals in your own right, right? Like at what you do, you are awesome and you know so much things. And you're unfortunately getting divorced, and you and your spouse have amassed quite a bit of stuff, like maybe some LLC interests, you've got some houses, you've got your work retirement and all that, and y'all think like, hey, we don't want to waste a bunch of money on lawyers, so we're just going to do this ourselves and get some lawyer to write it up. Okay, that sounds really great. And I really wish I thought that that was the way to handle this because I'd be telling y'all like all the steps to do it. Now, it's good to work with your spouse and try to keep that good relationship and try to come to some terms, like to develop a term sheet. It's the way I think about it. That's great. And try to get a lawyer to write it up. But usually it doesn't work out that way. Okay. And I tell people, and this sounds self serving. So I guess, like, you know, people who's, if I get on your nerves, you're going to be like, oh, Hannah is just self serving. You just want to make money for divorce lawyers. But like, hopefully, if you've been following me long enough, you kind of know that's not my gig here. I'm just trying to like help and explain stuff to people the way I wish I would have had things explained to me back when I didn't know any of this stuff. Um, and the best money that you can probably spend in your life besides like very early retirement savings, my financial planner people would say, is in your divorce. And the financial planners are going to be on my side on this, is on your divorce lawyer, because you are dealing with the most important stuff in your life, and sometimes it's accumulated over even like decades. And this stuff, like, I mean, it seems kind of easy, and some of it, look, it's not rocket science, but some of it gets a little like in the weeds hard, even if you know what you're looking at. And so you want to have somebody on your side who can come in and explain some of that stuff to you. Not that you don't understand it, and not that you can't read about blogs, you know, read blogs about it and stuff on the computer and figure it out yourself partially, but you need somebody you can trust. And whoever that is, like, look, maybe that's me, great. Otherwise, like, I know a bunch of good lawyers I could tell you to call. And you need to invest the money in, you know, uncoupling and disentangling to make sure it's done right. I'm going to tell you, because if you spend the money now, you're going to save yourself money in the long term. Because I think I've talked to 3 or 4 people this week. Oh God, it's Tuesday. Like literally in the last 2 days, who want me to help them fix, oh, just this little thing, my divorce decree. You know, my spouse had a lawyer and they just told me it was all standard and I just signed it and now I know better. And or our decree was a mess. I've got one where it's like they were pro se, they did it themselves, and they had a retirement plan, and it's been this whole thing to get it disentangled and to get it fixed. So I do recommend that you need to get a lawyer and you need to invest the money, however you kind of come up with it, on the front end. So you save money on the back end. And you just sort of have that peace of mind and confidence that it's handled right, I guess. Because look, those of you who think, oh, we don't need a lawyer, we can just do this ourselves, are probably in a situation where y'all are getting along okay, right? Or else you'd be like, where's a lawyer? Take us to court, you know. But if y'all are getting along okay, you may think, oh, we can just work this out. You know, problem with that is y'all ain't always going to be getting along so okay, probably. Okay. Some of y'all unicorn people, that's great. But for most of us, It's not always going to be roses. And that's particularly true down the line when everybody has somebody else that comes in their life, some new partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. That's often where things tend to get more complicated. And so you need to make sure that on the front end, you get your decree and all your stuff handled very specifically. So later, when it's not as kumbaya, you know what's going to happen and how that's going to work. Now, I say all this to say I kind of, a little bit talking to people with some assets who have the funds to do it. Now, look, I'm a practical person first before I'm anything else. And some people, you may be like, look, I just don't have the money to have a lawyer, like, period. I just literally can't do it. I wanted to tell you of a couple things you may not have thought about that I think a lot of the retirement plans and stuff are doing where there aren't the big penalties to take some of the money out, which I'd rather you not have to do that. But if that's what you got to do, that's one option. Obviously, a lot of firms take credit cards. It's a good time to phone a friend, a family member who might could help. Another thing that I didn't know about until I guess it's been a year or so that I've known about this is called Justice for Me. I'll tag them below. And they offer a line of credit sort of situation for people for legal fees. And different firms will take it. And well, our firm does have a relationship with them. So that works for us. And it's really given some of my clients access to funds who understand this part. Like, I really need a lawyer to help me get this done, who understand that and gives them access and some runway for us to get done what we need to without them having to come up with all the cash like this exact minute. Okay. So that's something else to look into as an option. I always am talking about texaslawhelp.org. That website has super good information and can get you a long way down the road if you absolutely have to. But one thing, even if that's you, even if you follow my second category of like, don't really have another choice, people who know better but just can't, one thing you might consider doing is some firms, even if they don't represent you the whole way, will consider just at least evaluating the decree. Maybe if the other side drafted it or if y'all have come up with it. And it won't be the same thing as being represented in a whole case, but perhaps they could be like, ooh, decrees are normally drafted like this. This has this other weird thing instead. At least you go in with eyes wide open of what you're getting yourself into, right? So maybe consider that as a choice that you could do for maybe a flat fee of worth a few hours of the lawyer's time to at least advise you on what you're getting into. At least do that. I mean, save money, do whatever you got to do until you can try to find somebody who can do that. We do that in some instances, in certain cases. I really would rather do it the other way, but I also don't want people having no idea what they're signing because later they're like, well, they said it was all standard. I thought it was just the normal stuff. And like, sometimes, but sometimes not. And you don't want to leave the like question feeling up to chance when you're done with like all of your stuff and your kids and everything else. So, pro tip, FAQ, whatever. Yes, you need to get a lawyer to help you get your divorce done. If there's any way you can swing it. The more assets, the more important that is. But even for just regular folks, if you've got kids, you really need to know what you're getting yourself into. And there are some resources out there that can help you to do that if it's not just like, let me write a check, because I know that's hard. So, okay, 2 cents. Hope everybody's having a great week so far, hanging in there with all the crazy. I keep talking about like, are we going to get back to normal? But I've stopped saying that. Like, maybe this is our new normal, y'all. I don't know. So anyway, hang in there. We're all in it together.